Inefita ma te quiero, vale. Realmente hoy soy bien loco, ¿no? Me voy a sacar aquí, ¿qué más?
Como todo lo chico. Mamá te foro aquí se ve más o más de filaba.
De que quiero que fue solo y le co.
Avani kami ama. Moment.
Perché bennino, non insomma. Non mi sai di mia. E ne får han mycket mer härligt så.
Vänta.
Kan vi bara skin i behind you?
Vad det? Men då.
Vi såg vad vi har fallit. En hem gång med så. Men vi ska göra kicka ma.
Vad det?
Han är inte kan göra bäst där.
Men vad?
Jag kan se när för någon fan.
Men
Inefita ma te quiero, vale.
Men då.
Jag kan se när för någon fan.
Avani kami ama. Men då.
Men vi ska göra kicka ma.
Vänta. Vad det?
De que quiero que fue solo y le co. E ne får han mycket mer härligt så.
Avani kami ama.
Realmente hoy soy bien loco, ¿no?
Vänta.
Perché bennina? Ah, ne insomma. E ne come me sa? Ah, penso che mi ha fallo. E non mi sa di me. Che mi vuoi se che ne parli? Alla fine che io non sento. A che mi sento fa una fa? Te lo metto in se mi lo come. Alla fine che io non sento.
E ma cosa c'è logo ma parte di fa?
Ah, penso che mi ha fallo.
Penso che ci sembra e vediamo. Ma sono fumiro.
Perché bennina? Ah, ne insomma.
Ma che sono abbiamo di favor as.
E ne fa una macchina hallenso.
Ma sono le bio le mie angels.
E ne come me sa?
Mokitsen, Abasin, Ilewaman.
Le que quiero fue más solo y le co.
Mokin Sunde, Ampel de favor, as. Son de Vion, Limehandro Zemeri. Amok as son for Miro.
In the fit, man, te quiero, ole.
Mokitsen, Abasin, Ilewaman. Imagozi Chiloko Mabante Tifo. Up and so when Texas and back, every woman. Mokin Sunde, Ampel de favor, as. Mokitsen, Abasin, Ilewaman. Imagozi Chiloko Mabante Tifo. Amok as son for Miro. Up and so when Texas and back, every woman. Son de Vion, Limehandro Zemeri. Son de Vion, Limehandro Zemeri.
Kan we boven zijn kinderen, hij doet.
Mokin Sunde, Ampel de favor, as. Up and so when Texas and back, every woman. Imagozi Chiloko Mabante Tifo.
Ono met zijn nemen.
Mokitsen, Abasin, Ilewaman. Amok as son for Miro.
We willen zo gaan, kijk je maar.
Imagozi Chiloko Mabante Tifo. Mokin Sunde, Ampel de favor, as. Mokitsen, Abasin, Ilewaman.
Ono met zijn nemen.
Son de Vion, Limehandro Zemeri. Up and so when Texas and back, every woman. Amok as son for Miro. Mokin Sunde, Ampel de favor, as.
We willen zo gaan, kijk je maar.
Up and so when Texas and back, every woman.
Pessoa gue beda apa lo?
Prima di commenti. Le medesime comune che erano attivati fosfari. Le ragazzine hanno sempre le robe. Leva di pompe di dormire. Prima di commenti. Le medesime comune che erano attivati fosfari. Leva di pompe di ragazzine hanno sempre le commenti. Leva di pompe di dormire.
A series of terrible explosions shook the city. The relay towers became colossal columns of flame, falling on residents' houses and destroying the streets below. Violent fires raged for several days, and when there were were finally put out, the heaps of twisted iron and sad memories were all that remained of Project Heimdall. Little changed in the country. Ministers continued to fight over power. Old players were deposed by new ones, each more vain than the last. Ordinary citizens remained a bargaining chip in political games, small cogs in the soulless machine of total surveillance and control. The ruling elite had no use for Evan. After the protective dome disappeared, he was held at gunpoint and thrown out the same window his father had fallen from. Like father, like son, they shouted at him in a mocking farewell. And only during that fall, in a state of absolute terror, did Evan truly feel free for the first time in his life, even if only for a fraction of a second. Over time, the huge relay towers became a familiar part of the urban landscape. Slowly turning rusty and useless, they hung gloomily over the heads of everyone below. And though some said that the towers were only slumbering, still waiting for their master, no one ever found out what they were really built for. Little changed in the country. Ministers continued to fight over power. Old players were deposed by new ones, each more vain than the last. Ordinary citizens remained a bargaining chip in political games, small cogs in the soulless machine of total surveillance and control. Evan's sacrifice wasn't in vain. None of the ministers who so passionately wanted unlimited control over the minds of the citizens were able to have it. Who knows how much worse things could have been if Heimdall had fallen into the wrong hands. But in the final seconds of his life, Evan still thought, could things have turned out differently? Was there ever any way for me to change something for the better? A low pulsating hum droned through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single person to its mechanical will. Men and women, adults and children, rich and poor. In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required of them. The desire of an abstract common good embedded into the minds of citizens had unexpected consequences. As it turns out, everyone has their own idea of good, and this meant that people strived for different, often opposite things. A wave of unmotivated violence swept through the city. People attacked one another at random, sincerely believing that they were doing it for the common good. When the wave of violence subsided, leaving behind it blood-soaked streets, the few survivors, shaken to the depth of their souls by the incident, started building a better world. And they they did it with such fervor that they forgot about their own basic needs. After only a month, Helmer was a ghost town where even the most desperate did not set foot. Anyone who understood what was happening and who still had free will wisely fled the city, while Evan stayed on the top floor, witnessing the consequences of his choice day after day. Sometimes in moments of weakness, he thought that punishing himself with the monstrous sight of the massacre below was enough to atone for his sins, but soon there was no one left to whom he could repent. And so the thought of the shredder several floors below seemed more and more attractive to Evan every day. But what mattered was that the thought was his own. A low pulsating hum droned through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single person to its mechanical will. Men and women, adults and children, rich and poor. In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required of them. Is a cult of personality really such a bad thing? After all, if someone receives praise to the high heavens, doesn't that mean that they deserve it? The mindless worship of the wise leader was replaced by the blind adoration of Evan Redgrave. And if citizens had previously been able to afford to express their disapproval of the current state of affairs even in a whisper, now no one would have dared to do so, because having one's own thoughts is an unaffordable luxury in a country covered with relay towers. But this is not the end. It is only the beginning. There are still so many places in the world where Heimdall towers are yet to rise into the skies, and so many countries yet to learn about Evan Redgrave. Replacing the wise leader, is that not the pinnacle of a ministry career? The name Redgrave was respected before, but now it inspires awe. Isn't that what you wanted for your son, Father? Isn't that the greatness you dreamed of when you created Heimdall? Evan sits at the top of the world, and everything belongs to him, from the mountains and rivers to the people and their thoughts. He alone decides what his subjects can feel and want. Evan Redgrave is a god now, and what does it matter that the fate of all gods is loneliness? A low pulsating hum droned through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single person to its mechanical will. Men and women, adults and children, rich and poor. In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required of them. You can't force a person to be happy against their will. But what if you forcefully give them free will? What if you instill in them a single thought? From now on, you make your own decisions and take responsibility for your own actions. Could it bring about peace? The inhabitants of Helmer were the first to become truly independent. Even though their lives weren't perfect, their choices were often far from ideal, and the consequences of these choices were painful. useless bureaucratic apparatus was gradually dismantled, and the ministry building was turned into a museum dedicated to senseless cruelty. Evan became a full-fledged member of the new society. When asked about what happened in the last days of the great state, he would only smile and stay silent. He had no wish to recall his time spent in the ministry or the nightmares that he witnessed and took part in. Evan lost himself in real work and finally reunited with his family. Until the very end of his life, he tried to erase from his memory the faces of his superiors and colleagues, wishing fervently that he could stop hearing military marches in the distance and the roar of 1,000 voices chanting, "All hail the wise leader." A low pulsating hum droned through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required. Heimnitz deceived Evan unshamedly. With the relays at his disposal, he spread them quickly throughout the country and immediately carried out his plan to destroy the population. People dutifully lined up at the euthanasia centers, and when there was no one left, the Boreans came and took everything they needed. The once great country became a desert with the frightening, empty streets of a ghost town. Evan wasn't able to see it through to the end. He was only able to marvel at how quickly his fate had been decided, and regretted that Heimnitz didn't find enough soap for his rope. At least he wasn't around to witness one of the largest genocides in history, and the destruction of his family along with it.